I'm a big fan of RPGs, be they open world Bethesda style games like Morrowind or Skyrim or Fallout 3, punishingly difficult action RPGs like Dark Souls and Demon Souls, or even your more traditional D&D fare like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. But the ones that got me hooked in the first place, back when I was a wee lad, came straight out of Japan. To be more specific, it was Square's JRPG behemoth, the Final Fantasy series that first captured my heart and imagination. Final Fantasy games are massively influential both mechanically and stylistically. One of the first things that stood out to me was the outrageous character design. Now we've got the recent and upcoming releases of the Pixel remasters along with Final Fantasy 16 scheduled for later this year, fingers crossed. So I thought now would be a perfect time to take a look back through the mainline series from a style and fashion perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Porto and today I bring you Final Fantasy protagonists ranked by their fashion sense. What do they say on every YouTube video? The one that started it all. Every list, here it is guys, the one that started it all. Look. This is kind of hard to do a single protagonist because this one doesn't really have a protagonist per se. It just has the 4 warriors of light. And they just adopt the sprites of whatever job they take, basically, whatever role they take. So we got here, what, a fighter, or maybe they call it a warrior, and then a monk, a white mage, and a black mage. Off the bat, let me just say that I think these colors are clean and distinct. We're gonna see as the series goes on, there is a tendency to just go over the top with certain items of clothing. They're just, sometimes less is more, guys. Sometimes less is more, you know what I mean? And I think there's a mistake that can be made where if you just jam a bunch of clashing shit together, it makes you more fashionable. I couldn't disagree more with that. Now, these guys, I like what they're doing. In particular, it's got to be said that the black mage is styling it. Like the black mage has the hat, kind of almost looks like it's half a wizard's hat, half a rice farmer hat. I'm into that shit. They got that nice sort of like sky blue cloak that they're rocking. They're wearing, clearly rocking some like spectacles there. Either that or they have yellow eyes. I don't know. Another thing to point out here is that the black mage is kind of, the entire face is concealed here. So either they are faceless or they're making a real effort to sort of hide in the shadows of their cloak and of their big wizard hat. I like that. There's an air of mystery. It's kind of dark and gothic, but also a little bit cute at the same time. Big style on the black mage. The white mage, the sort of flame design almost on the cloak is a bit over the top for me. And it also like is the same color as their hair. I'm not as into the white mage. Do you guys remember, I think it was like probably in the late 90s or the early 2000s, some people started wearing shirts that had like flames up them? It was kind of like a trashy thing that happened in some of the suburbs I lived in. I feel like the white mage is a little trashier than the black mage, to be honest. The headband is clearly inspired by Olivia Newton-John. Let's get physical. The monk is getting physical here. I like it. It's activewear. It's athleisure. That's fine. They've gone entirely one color here. The same sky blue as the black mage, but they've gone like the pants, the shirt. I guess that's a gi that they're wearing. So they're wearing a sky blue gi, black belt, important to note. They're no scrub. They've matched the headband. But the weird thing is the headband protrudes from parts of their hair. So part of their hair goes over it. And also I'm just noticing now the monk basically has my hair. That's basically me. So that's plus points for basically being me. The fighter has matched everything to their hair. And I'm not into it. I'm not into it. If I had red hair, I'd be wearing black clothes, personally. On the whole, the elegance of the monk and the black mage elevates, lifts the scrubbiness of the fighter and the white mage. And I'm going to have to give the Warriors of Light 7 crystals out of 10. Now, Sophiarian, let's have a look at him. First thing I notice is he's got a intricate do-rag. He's wearing a do-rag, but the do-rag only seems to cover part of his head. I'm not sure I've seen that before. Now, I rep the do-rag. It's not one that I've rocked a ton. I've rocked some pretty interesting headwear over the years. Kind of piratey, kind of gypsy, kind of a bit gaudy though. I don't know. I'm on the fence on that. The hair pops. The hair seems got that decent anime hair. Now, you'll see on the sprite here that he seems to be rocking red armor, whereas on these other depictions, he's rocking more of like a Batman style armor. Now the armor's pretty badass, I gotta say. It's kind of got that like chest plate kind of sculpted to the abs that he may or may not have. That's the thing, you never know with these things if their abs are actually like that, because they're always wearing the thing, right? He could be fucking packing a 0 pack underneath that. But, you know, it looks good. I quite like the red sword as an idea, as a concept. It means you don't have to clean it as much. It just looks that way anyway. Lots of jewels, a very bejeweled sword. And he's got lots of... He's really into like tassels and shit like that. He's got little tassel hanging from the handle of his sword. He seems to have almost tassels hanging from his half do-rag as well. I bet he's into indie music and also burns a lot of incense at home. He like meditates once a fortnight or some shit. Interesting to note that he's wrapped bandanas around his calves. Interesting choice. He's a little over the top for me though. He's a little over the top for me. It's just a few too many of these rings that he probably bought from garage sales. I bet some of those jewels are fake as well. Like, I bet they're not all valuable. Like, he's someone who would wear fake jewels and tell you they're real. I'm gonna give Furion 7.5 crystals. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Now, Final Fantasy III is an interesting one because I actually haven't played it. It's one of the few mainline games I haven't played. I will be soon though. And it also depends on which version you play. So if you play the original NES version or the Famicom version, you just have like the 4 Onion Knights apparently. Onion Warriors or something like that, which is kind of an odd choice, but there you go. And I'm not sure in the Pixel Remaster. If you play the 3D version, which were the remakes for like the DS and maybe PSP, I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. You get Lunath. So Lunath is very different looking to a lot of Final Fantasy protagonists. I believe this is because there's a job system in this one too. So she would change outfits, but this is her like base outfit. A few things right off the bat. She went with the vest made entirely out of belts. And we will see that Final Fantasy characters love themselves a belt. They love a good belt. Or 10 or 20. What I like about the belts though is that they're uniform in color. I don't know how that works. Are they all made out, like, is the buckle made out of leather? I'm not sure how that works. Little odd. Seems like a bit too much effort to put on as well. Like, I feel like you have to unfasten 3 parts to take it off. This is why zippers were invented. She kind of looks like she shops at Uniqlo. Like, that turtleneck, I've seen that at Uniqlo. That hoodie, I've seen that at Uniqlo. Those jeans, they're everywhere. And those boots, you can buy those anywhere as well. She's kind of really just an everyday person here. I like that she's just, this is comfort wear. This is good leisure wear. Colors aren't clashing too much. Everything she's wearing is a different color, but none of it collides into the others. They sort of ease into the other color. I like that. Not sure about the jeans, honestly. Like, that color of jean is not my favorite, but I think it looks fine amongst the others. And it should be pointed out as well that she's wearing gloves here. And they seem like, they almost look like they're suede. We haven't really talked about the hairstyles yet of the characters, but we should. She's going with the gray hair, which is a pretty common hair color amongst young Final Fantasy characters. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Looks pretty cool. I would be tempted to give her fashion choices a high 8, but the belt vest takes a little bit off for me. So we're gonna subtract a little. I think Lunath's gonna get 8 crystals out of 10. Now, the protagonist of Final Fantasy IV is Cecil. And he's a pretty beloved protagonist, I would say, in the context of the series. I gotta say, I think the Dark Knight is way cooler. Way, way, way cooler. He looks like Batman went Super Saiyan. You know what I mean? Like, Batman went full badass. He's got that complete faceplate on there with like the sort of devilish horns coming through. Got the big pauldrons, the real, like, the sharp pauldrons right there, looking like a stag beetle. It's kind of a lot of, actually, the armor in Final Fantasy does have kind of an insectile style to it now I think of it. A lot of those pointed, like, teeth or antennas or horns on the armor. The color is really spot on here. We've got this almost black that is highlighted by a sort of more of a navy to royal blue, with even an even more sparse kind of gold trimming in certain parts. Really like that color combination. It's elegant and it's simple and it's uniform. That is classy, guys. It's really, really nice. Solid codpiece, always important. Shout outs to Batman and Robin, the film. There's really not a lot to argue with here. I really, really like this outfit. But then we got to look at the Paladin over here. This is dull. This is no good, guys. This is no good. I'm not into this. First of all, the color is bland. He's gone from this really, like, striking tricolor combination here to, yeah, it is a tricolor combination, but it's sort of this, you know, bonish gray, which is not in and of itself bad. The blue pops less. The blue's just has less to it. And then there is the gold trim as well. So really it's only the main color that's changed, but it also feels like the highlight and trim colors have sort of become dull as a result. So the colors work less for me. We got to talk about the pauldrons here as well. You tell me, look at the Dark Knight pauldrons and then look at the Paladin pauldrons and you tell me which pauldrons are cooler. Or imagine they're plants and tell me which one is in better shape, which one is healthier. That pauldron, those pauldrons on the right are a disgrace. They're limp. They're weak. Yeah, it's just not as good. Okay, so he lost the face mask and he gained the cape. The cape is fine. I don't like this. This is really, this is so much worse. I actually think this is a below average protagonist. If the protagonist looked like that from the get-go, it'd be a very generic JRPG protagonist and not a Final Fantasy game, not of that caliber in terms of style and aesthetic. I'm not really with it, but the original, the Dark Knight part, when he's working for Baron, when he's on the evil side, is so badass. That's the best one so far. I'm gonna have to meet in the middle here, and I'm gonna give Cecil 7.75 crystals out of 10 for fashion sense. I'm not gonna lie, I am really fond of this one. Maybe it's my bias because I really like the game, But there's something that works about this. I feel like this kind of in ways combines some of the strengths of Sophiarian from Final Fantasy II and also of Cecil as the Dark Knight. Was he called the Dark Knight? Am I making that up? He probably had a slightly different name. But you know what I mean, before he transitioned to the Paladin. We've got vivid blues that change in tones a little bit to a kind of gold trim. A little bit of purple sneaking in there as well. Just a little bit of sneaky purple. And we've got the red sword again. I prefer this red sword. It's a little cleaner for me. A little less busy, though there is a tassel hanging off the bottom of the handle. That's fine. We've got the single pauldron, though maybe there's a little bit going on the other side. I'm not really sure. Really cool designs. Almost feels a little bit Middle Eastern influenced here. I am now seeing, though, that he does have a bit more tassel action across the wrist there. There's a few tassels. He's gone with earrings, and he seems to have a, what do you call that when you have like a, it's not a headband, but a thin, is that like a signet around his head with a little, got a little, maybe a emerald or something up there. He's got some jewels. This is a believable rogue and traveler for me. And this is versatile too. Like you could wear this, and he looks like he's ready for battle, but he also, you know, you could rock up to a ball dressed like this. You could go down to the shop. I mean, you might get a few glances. I think he's looking really stylish. He went with the short cape. I think the advantage of the short cape is you never step on it and trip over. That's important. If I had one criticism to give is that he's wearing tights. And I'm just not a fan of tights, personally. And what's that around his... Is he wearing a skirt? Is that a skirt he's wearing? Is it like a mini sarong or something like that? This is a stylish guy that knows what he wants. He's not whacking any mismatching shit on here. Like, he's aware that that red matches that. He's aware that that blue matches that. This guy's fashion conscious. He's a little gaudy, but he's self-aware in his gaudiness. Before I give this a rating, we're gonna have to discuss his friend over here. If you agree with me, and you like butts, if you like butts like me, for the low price of $68.73, and this is real, on AliExpress, you can actually order the Butts cosplay kit, which comes with everything to make you look exactly like Butts, including this little high-vis side pocket, a belt that just for some reason added on a yellow jewel. What appears to be, well, no, that he does have that actually. This some exercise pants, and it's exactly the same. And I believe you get the hair too. Now, look, that's a bargain, guys. If you want to look like Butts, $68.73 on AliExpress. You too can look exactly like that. I can't see a difference at all. I give Butts, though, really, honestly, this is a 9 out of 10. This is 9 crystals out of 10 for Butts. Love it. Big fan, best yet. Okay, before we even begin, I can't even begin. We're gonna go over to the cosplay kit right now. This one is more expensive. I think I get a sneaking suspicion it's from the same quality distributor. This is the Terra kit for just $87.12 on AliExpress. You too can look like Terra with what can only be described as a collection of placemats and random assorted fabrics and some tassels. You too can be like Terra. Don't miss this deal. Final Fantasy VI is An interesting game in that there's not really one definitive central protagonist. I've chosen Terra. I used to think green hair was stylish when I was younger. But then I realized that most people that have green hair tend to just frequent shopping malls. It's a shopping mall hair color. I don't know why. As for the bow in the hair, don't mind it. Don't mind it. Complements the green well. Purple does go well with green. Her overall outfit has almost like a velvet look to it. Like I feel like her top and her, what do you call these? Armlets. What do you call those? It's not a glove. I don't think it's attached. It's just an armband. Actually, NBA players wear those. Her arm covers and top have like a velvet finish. I feel like she might be into a little bit of witchcraft. I bet she really likes the movie The Craft. Now we've gone with a little, I don't know, is that a sash? A little, according to this one, it's just 3 tea towels. But if we look at the other art, it seems to be sort of like a sash of some kind. We've got stockings. Everything kind of has like a interstellar vibe to it. I know it's like there's like flower design on her top and arm things, but it almost looks like little stars. And you see those these days, actually. I think they've just gone out of fashion in the last couple of years, but there was a period where a lot of people were wearing leggings around Melbourne anyway with planets and shit on them. That was kind of like a pseudo hip thing to do for a while. And then it became oversaturated, so everyone realized it was trash and had to stop doing it. The cape looks a little bit like it started its life as a rug with the tassels on the back. Kind of might have started as a rug in her living room. In fact, if we go over to the AliExpress model, that looks a lot like a rug. And not a good one either. That said, there is an overall simplicity to what she's doing here. The colors complement each other. They do vary quite a bit, but they're all in the same sort of spectrum. A nice elegant blade as well. Is that a scimitar? That might be a scimitar. Again, we got these kind of pseudo Middle Eastern vibes coming through. Some gems lining whatever's hanging around the waist here, which I'll point out doesn't come in the 87.12 AliExpress deal, by the way. So those don't come included. 87.12 US dollars, but you don't get them. You don't get them. I like that it's not too gaudy. I'm into armor, but I don't like, as we're gonna see some armor that really goes overboard in my opinion. I'm a fan of this actually. I think Terra's doing pretty well here, and compared to some of the others, I think I'm gonna give her fashion sense an 8.5 out of 10. So guys, there is no way that this happened over 2 different recording sessions. Everything that looks different is just in your imagination. Cloud Strife. Stylish man. I'm not sure if the legs, the shape of the legs there, right here, is due to the cut of these pants that are very high-waisted, by the way. And shout outs to some overalls that he's rocking there. Or if he just happens to have absolute thunder thighs. If you look at the in-game character model, it suggests the latter. I suspect there's some thunder thighs here. Really nice tone. That is as navy as blue is ever gonna get. Like the boots, like the boots. I like the lack of belts. His hair is stylish as fuck. Look at that boy, look at that boy. The Buster Sword, a style icon in and of itself. Don't know how he carries it. Must be lightweight metal. The gauntlets, I presume. The gauntlets, kind of cool. Again, kind of industrial. He really goes with the overall style and aesthetic of this game itself, which is darker, grittier, more industrial, as I've said, more gray tones, less bright, over-the-top business. I've got skinny arms too, Cloud, don't worry about it. I'm a pretty skinny arm guy, so like it's all about, I'm cool with showing the arms if they're skinny. He's got a little muscle going on. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. However, the singlet that is also a turtleneck, a ribbed turtleneck with no arms. It's bold. And I think I love it too. This is a good one, guys. The colors are dope. The clothing itself is fairly low key while still having some unique features. The hairstyle's off the hook. Fashion is an attitude, and look at that boy's attitude. This is a 9.5, guys. Cloud's a stylish motherfucker. Squall Leonhardt. Squall Leonhardt, guys. Protagonist of Final Fantasy VIII. A broody boy, as seen in his all black with a little white. Few fun facts about Squall Leonhardt. Badass weapon, the gunblade. Style points. Badass slice around his face, across his face. Just to that perfect angle. Stylish. Windswept hair, stylish. Black gloves, stylish. And here's a little known fact. If you look across to this article that I sourced online about the Squall Leonhardt cosplay over here, you'll note that what this gentleman in this photo is wearing is not actually a white t-shirt. We've been calling it the wrong thing all along. This is in fact, and I kid you not, this is what the website told me, this is in fact what is known in the biz as a Squall Leonhardt shirt. So get it right, guys. Don't misname the fashion. So he's got his Squall Leonhardt shirt, which looks a little different here. I guess this is the modified Squall Leonhardt shirt. A little bit of jewelry. Now, personally, I'm not a huge fan of the thin chain, heavy accessory on the chain. I think you go thin chain, small pendant or whatever, or thick, big. The mix and match isn't for me. Thin, big, thick, small, I don't like either. He went thin, big, so that subtracts a little for me. Also, there's a bit too much belt action here. This is the cardinal sin of Final Fantasy protagonist in terms of fashion, is their overuse of belts. Too many belts. And let's not even get started on Lulu, but she's not a protagonist, thank God. Gunblade, though, is a gigantic plus. I actually have a similar jacket to this. It's less leather, and it's a little longer, though not that much longer. The boots, a bit goth, but that's okay. I could see him down at like an industrial metal bar, and I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Overall, the pluses outweigh the minuses significantly here. Squall's a stylish dude. He's a brooding dude. He would fit in at many a Melbourne bar. Overall, I'm going to give Squall Leonhardt and his Squall Leonhardt shirt, patented Squall Leonhardt shirt, a 9.25. Stylish boy. Of course, no Final Fantasy list would be complete without the charismatic, capricious rogue that is Zidane, protagonist of Final Fantasy IX. I didn't know that he was in Spinal Tap, but looking at that hair, it suits the band's image. He seems to actually have a bit of a ponytail as well, which you can't see in the Spinal Tap cover, but you can see in his art here to the left of screen. And I don't mind that. That's kind of the pirate kind of vibe, right? I can get behind that. I realize that I don't actually know the terminology for a lot of this wear. He's got his kind of collar with a hanging, is that a, what is that? It's not a scarf, I don't think. Although it could be. Again, a lot of belts. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, about 5 belts he's rocking here. It's about 4 too many. Gigantic cuffs on his gloves there. Huge, oversized. A bit much if you ask me. Bit much. I know you kind of got to have a standout feature. Not so into that. The blades I think are cool. The double blade is pretty badass. Pretty ornate. I'm into that. It's got like a curved, almost scimitar situation going on there. I like that. I can see he's wearing what appears to be the Squall Leonhardt shirt underneath, so he kind of bit Squall style there a little, but you know, that's okay. We've all been wearing Squall Leonhardt shirts since they were invented in Final Fantasy VIII. The boots are a little futuristic though. If you looked at those boots out of context, without the rest of the body, you might think that it was a sci-fi. So they're a little out of place for me. They're a little out of place for me. It's not too over the top though. The belt action hurts me just a little bit. The size of those cuffs on the gloves and the boots themselves subtract a lot, though I do like the blades. Don't mind the ponytail, I'm here for it. I mean, I actually quite like that little... Is that a handkerchief? What is that called? There's a lot to like in this man's style, or this monkey's style. Is he? I think he's half monkey, right? But there's a bit to dislike as well. It's a little gaudy, a little bit of there's a little bit that doesn't fit in here for my liking. I think I'm going to give Zidane an 8. I also look forward to his comeback album with Spinal Tap. Tidus, the protagonist from Final Fantasy X. There is a lot to hate here. There is so much to hate here. And I'm not just talking about Tidus himself. I'm talking about his fashion, sense, or lack thereof. This is as cluttered a mess as I've seen yet. He's gone with the old black with yellow, with red, with blue, with brown, with grey, with white look. He also went with one leg longer than the other on the shorts. Oh, what a douchebag. What a douchebag. Tribal necklace, not cool. Are you in a tribe, bro? If you're in a tribe, sure, but not cool. Sword's okay. Sword's okay. Don't mind the sword. Sword was pretty cool. Everything else is a mess. This is awful. This is like a Backstreet Boys video, except it's a bad acid trip. Appalling. Miserable. The only reason I've got this, you may be wondering why I have this photo of a pair of a Yeezy shoe. I feel like that's the only thing he's missing, is a pair of Yeezys. In many ways, he's indicative of everything wrong that has happened in fashion in the last 5 years, despite the fact that the game came out more than a decade ago. I think the only thing I like is the sword. Everything else tilts me beyond belief. Aggressively bad, horrible, appalling. I'm going to give Tidus a blitzball out of 10. I'll give Tidus a 4. If nothing else, for the sword. Ugh. Navan was a fairly loathed protagonist. He wasn't the most interesting character. In fact, he didn't really feel like he should have been the protagonist of Final Fantasy XII at all. It kind of looks like Vaan either ran out of money for the top half of his armor, or was in a rush this morning, or got really hot and took half of it off. He sort of has a similar hairstyle to Tidus. He's like a slightly less masculine version of Tidus, but this isn't the masculinity scale. And I gotta say, I like what he's doing more than Tidus, ultimately. The armor on the bottom is pretty dope, probably pretty functional as well. Like, no one's gonna be cutting his shins anytime soon. It's fairly uniform, and there's a nice sort of ornate, almost like floral, almost like a tapestry or embroidery style of, I don't know if that's metal or just design or something, up the outside of his thighs on his pants. They look pretty dope. He seems to be wearing, is that a giant oversized belt made out of a dish rag? or a towel or a cape that he decided to wear around his waist. That's all right. I'm here for it. It's something different. One of the things I really like is that he doesn't go too over the top with the colors. It's a black and silver theme with a little highlight of blue and red here or there. Learn from this guy, Titus. Learn from this guy. It's busy in ways, but you don't get too distracted. It still feels like it all belongs. The gloves are cool. The gauntlet glove situation is pretty cool. There's a little blue gem in the center of that shit. I'm into that. The designs are nice. Sword's a bit interesting. I don't know if that art there is depicting his actual sword. I mean, your weapons change a lot in Final Fantasy games, and I don't think he had an iconic weapon in the same way that Cloud or Squall did. The top half is a bit of a mess though, isn't it? It almost looks like it's supposed to connect to a backpack or something like that. I'm not sure what you would call that. It doesn't have a lot of function, I don't think. But again, we're here for style. And does it have much style? Doesn't leave a lot to the imagination. A little vain, I would say, rocking that one. He also kind of has a bit of a vibe of a Dark Souls character that's has the heavy armor set, the Elite Knight armor set, and wants to be able to roll quickly though, wants a fast roll. So it's like he's got the top half, but he's not going to be quick enough if he wears it. So he's just going to wear the bottom half for some protection while freeing up the top half for movement. It's pretty bold without being trashy. Bold without being trashy. A little elegance despite the fact that he's basically not wearing a shirt at all. If he had something on top, like sort of in the way that he's got the pants, sort of in the way that he's wearing pants, you know, underneath that armor situation, I think it would look a little more uniform, a little doper. But I like the colors. I like the overall design. It's not bad at all. I'll give him an 8.25. Let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. Lightning has pink hair. It's fine though, she wears it kind of cool. As for the kit, it's very belty, isn't it? It's very belty. Lots of belts. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's a 12. I'm counting like 16 belts. There's like 16 belts here, guys. There's got to be some minus on the belts. You've got to get some points deducted for the belts. As for the colors, again, like with Titus, there's a lot here. There's a lot of colors here. But they don't clash as much, in my opinion. She's not very armored though, is she? It's kind of just regular ass clothing in a way. Like you could see someone actually just wearing this clothing. You know, of course it's a little over the top, but I could see someone wearing this clothing out. I don't love it. The boots are kind of cool. It's like a 3-tone boot, but again, the belts are distracting. The blade is sweet. The blade is sweet. I'll pay that. The actual sort of sleeveless jacket with turtleneck undershirt and skirt combo she's rocking, it's a done thing. It's a done thing. It's not bad. I'm here for the sleeve underneath the left glove. I don't know if she does it on her right for some reason. And I'm definitely here for the cape. The cape is a plus. It works, this cape. Honestly though, I don't think it's as cohesive an outfit as we've seen. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best we've seen. But we got to give a little attention to this situation just beneath me now. I think this is from a later game in the series. I've only played the original Final Fantasy 13. I don't know what the hell is going on here, but I'm here for it. This is some Dom mummy shit like I've never seen before. She's lost several of the belts and added some fucking armor to the situation. Is that a shield on her entire left arm there? The cape's shorter. She looks just more fucking badass there. That outfit, if that was the outfit, she might be getting like a 9. It's not, unfortunately, but that's a plus, that she at least transitions into that at some point. As much as I like Lightning as a protagonist, I'm not that into her fashion sense. I would probably give it a 7, but because of what she turns into later, I'm going to give it a 7.25. So Noctis is the protagonist of Final Fantasy 15, and I have to admit this is one of the couple I haven't played. So I had very little in the way of expectations. I've barely even seen the game. At first, I saw the picture to the left and thought, I get it. I like the color tones. I like the simplicity of it all. And I thought, yeah, the sword's a bit busy. The sword's a bit try-hard for my liking. In many ways, I see this first Noctis and I think kind of like a B-grade Squall. Then I saw the second one and went, ooh. It's a nice situation there with the black on black suit. Single belt, might I add. Single belt. The right amount of belts. Little tail on the back of the jacket as well, on that dinner jacket. Little ribbing on the shirt as well. Don't mind that. Don't mind that at all. Then I saw this last one. I was like, oh, is he wearing Supreme? Bro, I don't know how to feel about that last one. How is that the same guy? So I went, So the combination of these things, a mediocre one, a pretty great one, and one that I really don't like. Look at those sneakers on the last one. I should at least talk about why I don't like it. The sneakers are bad. He's clearly wearing a Squall Leonhardt shirt here as well. Like, Squall wants his shirt back, bro. Maybe that's what it says there, Squall Leonhardt. The gloves are not here for him. Not here for him. Puffy jacket. Puffy jackets are okay, but tan and yellow on grey on a Squall Leonhardt shirt, bit much. Hat's okay. I guess this is a 7.5. This is about a 9. And this is about a 5.5, honestly. So if I divide those by 3, what is that? 7.5 plus 9, 16.5 plus 5.5, 22 divided by 3 is 7.33333 recurring. Noctis gets 7.3333 recurring. Just to review, let's look at the final standings in our definitive fashion rankings of Final Fantasy mainline protagonists. At the very bottom where it belongs, we've got Tidus, 4, I was being generous, trash tier, horrible style, no style. We've got the Warriors of Light represented by the Black Mage with 7, solid. Everything from here on up is respectable but might have issues. Above there we've got Lightning. It's a belt apocalypse, which really detracts from her score. Also, the colors are a bit off. Above Lightning was 7.3333333333333 recurring. We've got Noctis. Some of his styles were good. I like the colors. Feels a bit like a B-grade Squall at times, especially if you look at this image. Above him we got Sophiarian. Solid, if a little gaudy. I like the breastplate. Some cool little highlights. Weird bandana. Weird do-rag steez. Not bad. 7.5. Above him we have Cecil. Now Cecil would have been probably top 3 were it not for this disgraceful transformation. In equal 6th we got Lunath and Zidane from FF3 and FF9. Lunath, really simple and elegant. Few too many belts once again, but really comfy, and I could see that being day-to-day wear. Pretty stylish, all-round wear, I might add. 8 for her. And Vaughn, Some really nice colors. It pops a lot. I like the blades. Don't know about those boots. What are you doing with those boots? Bit too much belt action again. And those cuffs on the gloves are just silly. So 8 for them. Top 5. Vaughn. I don't think he makes many top 5 lists of Final Fantasy protagonists. So let's just put a hand together for Vaughn. He got in there. When he's able to afford the top half of his outfit, it might be top 3. It's really cool looking. Really cool looking. Good design, very elegant. In 4th place, we got Terra. That Smashing Pumpkins, witchy, mid-90s grunge, goth, The Craft, Nev Campbell kind of vibe. Don't know about the green hair, but everything else is dope. Nice blade too. And also, the more I look at that cape, the more I like it. Our bronze medal is Butts. 9 out of 10. The better version of what Zidane was going for, really. Plus a little cape. I love it. I'm into it. Classy. Rapscallion. Scoundrel steez. 9 out of 10. You know, when I decided to try and make this video, I really, it was just going to be Final Fantasy VIII propaganda. I was determined to put Squall at the top. But as I went through it, I don't think I could, ultimately. There are a few issues there. Notably, a bit too much belt action. Didn't really like the small chain with the heavy pendant necklace business. I know that's Griever, but just get a thicker chain, bro. Or a smaller Griever pendant. But he did invent the Squall Leonhardt t-shirt, so that's big. Still really, really good. 9.25 and the silver 2nd place for Squall Leonhardt. Against my better judgment, I got to put Cloud at the top. In that outfit, Cloud could either go to work in a factory, he could go to war, he could work in a fashion boutique in an industrial area, he could go to a rave, he could go on a date, he could go anywhere in that outfit. It's stylish, it's timeless, it's 9.5 out of 10, and it's the most fashionable Final Fantasy mainline protagonist we've seen to this date. Thank you for watching the video, guys. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.